Straight ahead on CCX News, using technology to track the cold, how it helps local cities to prevent pipes from freezing. Then, preventing credit card fraud, what Plymouth police are doing to stop skimming. And later, meet the romance author next door. She's caught the attention of book critics. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Our frigid temperatures are not only hard on people, but water pipes, too.
A new device is allowing Hennepin County to predict when there could be potential problems with frost underground. Reporter Sonia Goins explains.
Everywhere you look, folks are bundled up trying to brave our tundra-like temps.
So we're looking at current temperatures really around Hennepin County, anywhere between -3 and -6.
But today's weather is nothing like it was back in 2014. That's when the mercury dropped to -23 degrees the first week of January.
I believe it was the second coldest on record. So it was extremely, extremely cold that winter.
The Arctic air caused frost to reach deep into the soil and freeze underground pipes.
We had over 150 water services freeze up going into people's households, so no water.
If frost gets deeper than 7 feet, it could cause problems for pipes. Hennepin County just recently installed sensors to detect frost depth.
The Hennepin County Weather Station in Medina gathers temperature readings and other data.
So this is a frost depth tube.
That tube goes 10 feet into the ground.
And we pull the tube out, and however deep the water is frozen is how deep our frost is. So actually, right now, we're about 2 feet 4 inches.
There are 6 frost tubes in the county, including Maple Grove and Crystal.
So we come out once a week, every single Monday morning, to see kind of what's our average.
The sensors are placed under grass and under pavement. Frost is typically deeper under pavement because it doesn't have a blanket of snow to keep it warm.
It is a little bit deeper, but we're still probably at that 2 feet 4 inch area.
The frost readings allow local cities to keep an eye out for potential problems.
And if we see the frost depth at a real low level early in the year, we know that we could be in for a long winter.
And if officials do see frost levels approaching the critical mark of 7 to 8 feet, they can send out alerts.
We're not anywhere near that yet, and we haven't been quite cold enough long enough to see issues yet.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Brooklyn Park Public Works has received a few calls from homeowners with pipes freezing in the basement. They recommend people open up utility doors so warm air can circulate and keep the pipes from freezing. Local law enforcement is busy trying to curtail skimming.
Yeah, it's a method that thieves use to steal credit card information at a gas pump. And Eric Nelson is here now and joins us with more on that. Eric?
Yeah, Shannon and Mike, skimming has become very common at gas stations in the Northwest Metro and around Minnesota. This has become a serious issue, and Plymouth police want residents to be aware of the repercussions, which include theft and financial fraud.
Skimming is a situation where a thief gets into the inner workings of a gas pump, places a device, closes it up again, and then anytime a credit card is slid through, that's being recorded. Now this thief returns back to that station, takes out that device. With the information on there, they can make their own credit cards using the customer's numbers off of their credit card.
To combat this, Plymouth police have started a program called Skimstop. They have given gas stations tamper-proof tape to put over the door of the pump's credit card area. The tape will show void if it has been tampered with. So far, 6 of Plymouth's 17 stations are participating in the program.
If that seal is broken, we know that someone has compromised the internal workings of that pump. And so we're requiring every 24 hours that gas stations go out, look at their pumps to make sure that that seal has not been broken.
Now, police believe this is a fail-safe program as long as the pumps are checked daily. Station employees are instructed to call 911 if they suspect tampering. Mike?
All right, thank you. A planning commissioner says a plan to redevelop the Four Seasons Mall in Plymouth is a creative and exciting proposal. The commission voted to support the plans this week. The mall closed 5 years ago, and now developers are planning 2 hotels, a restaurant, a senior living center, retail space, and a parking garage in a project called Agora. Walmart planned to build a store there, but ran into opposition from neighbors. At a public hearing this week, neighbors say they support redevelopment, but had some questions about traffic and the height of buildings.
Everything that currently exists for office space and businesses is all one story, and there's a lot of proposal for 4-story, 5-story structures on this site. So that has me a little bit concerned.
The restaurant, the hotels, and the traffic and everything that kind of goes into that area doesn't seem to fit a residential driven environment.
I think we've got a win-win on so many levels. It's creative, it's not overwhelming size, it fits into that little area nicely, so I will support it.
Developers pointed out the taller 4-story buildings were closest to busy roads. The plans go to the City Council on January 17th.
In New Hope, the City Council is expected to vote on a design for a new police department and City Hall. Last fall, a task force recommended the city build a new municipal building where the nearby public swimming pool is now located. The construction budget is expected to be more than $14 million plus engineering costs. An engineering company is also working with citizen committees to develop concepts for a new outdoor pool and updates for Civic Center Park. The council meets Monday night.
There's been a significant increase in charitable gambling. According to the Minnesota Gambling Control Board, sales spiked 13% for the first half of 2016 as Minnesotans spent $1.5 billion. Charitable gambling includes bingo, pull tabs, raffles, and other kinds of gaming. The numbers were also up in the Northwest Metro, including the American Legion in Golden Valley.
It's going up quite a bit. Yeah, and like I say, now that we've got, we seem to have Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday bingo going good. They tend to feed the pull tabs, and we have the electronic races, and they all seem to be going good now.
Some charitable gambling proceeds from the Golden Valley American Legion have gone to military vets, the Boy Scouts, and high school baseball teams at Benilde St. Margaret's and Breck.
You'll get an extra week reprieve if you use Highway 169. Due to the weather and expected snow, work on Highway 169 will begin now, January 17th. That's when all lanes will close between Bren Road in Minnetonka and 5th Street in Hopkins. It will be that way through early October. The closure will allow crews to replace the bridge over 9 Mile Creek. In the spring, resurfacing work on 169 will also be done between Highway 55 in Golden Valley and Crosstown Highway 62. Coming up, we meet a Plymouth author who has caught the attention of the New York Times.
And then later in sports, the Wayzata girls basketball team is off to a good start this winter, and we will hear from the Trojans.
But first, plenty of sunshine, but still chilly this weekend.
With today's freezing temperatures, it would be the perfect time to curl up with a good book.
A Plymouth author has a book that could definitely warm you up. We sat down with author J.C. Sutton to learn more about her book, Available to Chat.
Seeing other people's perspectives.
If a book can give you an inside look into a person's story,
I think it makes you a more compassionate, empathetic person to read a lot.
Then J.C. Sutton's book is a story many might be familiar with.
What kind of led me to the story was just listening to all of my friends talk about what was going on in their lives.
The book is called Available to Chat, and it's about empty nesters.
They're figuring out what comes next in their life, and they're struggling a little bit with keeping their marriage exciting, as so many people do.
The book is categorized as women's fiction, but it gets a tad racy at times.
And so I decided to set out to write 50 Shades for 50-somethings.
Her name isn't really J.C. Sutton either. That's her pen name. But her neighbors have identified her anyway as someone to field questions and comments about what happens in the bedroom.
I think these things should be absolutely discussed, but I'm not really the person who could stand there at Cub and discuss it with you, at length while our kids' teachers walk by.
J.C.'s account of what it's like to be a romance author and be raising teenage boys in the suburbs was picked up in the New York Times, giving her attention beyond her expectations and boosting her excitement about her first, but not last, book.
It's really about relationships, the main character's relationship with her husband, her son, and also her girlfriends in the book.
JC is currently writing her second book, and you can pick up available to chat at local Barnes and Noble stores or on Amazon. Mike, you just don't want to talk about it with her at Cub.
Okay,
Not that, not the right place for it. Coming up, the perfect way to take your mind off the cold weather, comedy in New Hope.
But first, Maple Grove takes on Centennial in a good Northwest Suburban Conference boys hockey battle. John Jacobson has the highlights next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The 8-3 Maple Grove boys hockey team got back into Northwest Suburban Conference play on Thursday night with a game at 7-2 Centennial. Highlights from this game in Circle Pines. The Crimson Sam Huff with the puck in the Cougar zone puts a great pass onto the stick of Justin Kelly for the shot and goal. And it's 1-0 Maple Grove. Centennial responds as Lucas McGregor snipes one from just inside the blue line. A power play goal ties it at 1. Crimson score another to lead 2-1 after a period. In the second, the Crimson make it 3-1. Jared Camerata with the shot. Kelly nets his second goal tonight on that rebound. 3-1 Crimson. Up 3-2, goalie Ethan Hayter makes a nice pad save on the Cougars' Matt Genrich, keeping Maple Grove in the lead going to the third. But McGregor ties it up for Centennial in the third period. His one-timer from the top of the circle makes it 3-3. The Cougars score again on the power play. However, Maple Grove comes right back. Trevor Kukkonen knocks the puck down as the Cougars are trying to clear. Tyler Kostelecki passes to Tevin Nygaard. He skates in and scores. That breaks the tie. Maple Grove adds an empty netter as well, and they win it 5-3. In prep wrestling, two of the area's better teams went head-to-head on the mat. Maple Grove visiting Totino Grace. 106-pound match. Maple Grove's Joey Thompson gets the pin. The Crimson win 2 of the first 3 matches by fall. Great finish at 132. Maple Grove's Gavin Peterson gets a takedown as time expires in the third period, and he wins a 9-8 decision. At 145, Grace's William Jager is the winner by fall as the Eagles go in front. The Crimson come right back with a pin at 160 for Sam Querez. The score is tied 27-all with 4 matches left, and the Eagles get it going. Cameron White with a 2-1 decision at 182 pounds wins. And Grace closes the night with a 4-2 decision at heavyweight, courtesy of Hunter Christensen. And Totino Grace wins the duel 42-27. Now to gymnastics, where Park Center hosts the 16-team MGGOA Invitational on Saturday, featuring many of the state's top teams. Pirates warmed up for that with a conference dual meet against Osseo Fridley on Thursday. This is Laura Payne of Osseo on the vault. She records the second best score on her team with a 7.7. Park Center was without one of their top gymnasts. Maddie Clausen was out, but their other state returner, Haley Illy, and she's a very good one. Illy scores at 8.725 for this routine on the uneven bars. Illy is also the all-around winner. The balance beam, Park Center's 7th grader, Chandra Vu, an impressive showing for the Pirates. The only competitor to score in the 9s, recording a 9.105 as the Pirates build the lead on Osseo. Alyssa Johnson of Osseo has her team's top score on the floor exercise with a 7.6 and is her team's top all-arounder. Janthony Booth scores a 9.2 on the floor for Park Center, and they win. They score 134.120 to win the meet. The Wayzata girls basketball team graduated 3 starters from a team that played in the Section 6-4A final last season. But as Jay Wilcox reports, the Trojans are coming together in a hurry this winter.
It's been a strong start for the Trojans with room to grow. Wayzata is 8-3 and gelling as a team.
We're all so close, and we never have any drama, so I really think that shows on the court as well. We all of our teamwork. Our teamwork shows. We all play together. When we get down, everybody's there to help us, pick us up.
The Trojans did lose a couple of games at the Hill Murray Holiday Tournament last week to Matamidi and Forest Lake, but the chance to play good teams from different conferences can be a benefit.
I think that Our coach tries to put us in tournaments where we can play against teams that we wouldn't usually get to see, and that's always really good because you get to see different types of playing styles.
Well, we really enjoy going over to Hill Murray. We see some east side teams that we don't typically see. You know, some of our weaknesses were exposed. We did some really good things.
Wayzata's played 2 Lake Conference games so far, going 1-1. Those rivalry games are the ones that really get the girls' attention.
Playing teams in the Lake Conference is my favorite games because there's such a high level of competition, and it really brings out the best in our team as well. So there's always good games in the Lake Conference, and I'm very much looking forward to playing them.
It's a dynamite conference. You have to be so well prepared, and physically, mentally, X's and O's, every aspect of the game has to be sharp.
It's a team with a variety of weapons that has a chance to do great things. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Our CCX game crew will be on hand tonight, Friday, to televise the Trojans game against Chaska. Watch it live on channels 12 and 799 and on the web at ccxmedia.org, or catch the weekend replay Saturday at 4 p.m. or Sunday afternoon at 1. Shannon and Mike, back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Up next, it's time to laugh.
We meet the comedians taking the stage in New Hope when we come back. If the cold weather has you in a funk, a healthy dose of laughter could get you out of it.
It's comedy time at the New Hope Cinema Grill, and Neil Persley has more in today's Weekend Showcase.
You might not know it living here in this area of the country, but its comedy is in much more demand than other parts of the country. Almost the rest of the country.
Why is that, you may ask?
Cold weather is the reason why.
I like to put disclaimers at the beginning of all my stories and anecdotes.
While I may have the perfect face for radio, Isaac Whitty has the perfect name for comedy.
You know me.
And he'll be appearing live at the New Hope Cinema Grill Saturday night.
I have a new pickup line that I'm using on the ladies when I go to dive bars. It's so what's a girl like you doing at a place like this? Pretty good. Way better than the line I used to use, which is, it makes perfect sense that you would be here.
Also appearing at the New Hope Cinema Grill tonight, Friday night, is Minnesota native Jason Schammer. Jason is a storyteller finding humor and absurdity in everyday life experiences.
So let's just deal with it here and now and be done with it. Yes, I am overweight. There. I just came out of the fridge for all of you. Wasn't that scary? No, looking around, a few of you could join me. Yeah, get enough of us who could have a parade. Oh, I'm just joking. Fat people don't march.
Jason got his start when he was working in New York City, and his co-workers thought he was so funny that they signed him up for an open mic night.
I'd never done stand-up in my entire life. They said, just don't bomb. And I went on stage, and I told stories about being a small-town guy in a big city and kind of the fish out of water, and it went well. It went great.
Both Isaac and Jason are clean comedians.
I don't want to make my mom cry.
Oh, and Jason wanted you to know.
If you bring me a cupcake to the show, I'll give you a hug.
For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley, CCX News.
Shows are Friday and Saturday night. Have a great weekend, everyone.